So there's something I have not talked about, and there's something that is also just not really spoken about on YouTube, and I don't see a lot of um, YouTubers who are talking about like what hasn't been talked about as much, and that is being African and coming from the LGBT community. Now, I haven't spoken about this on my channel, and that's something like I should have done, and I didn't, and I'm doing it now and I'm starting now to like make videos on like being African and coming from the LGBT community, LGBTQ, and like in my instance, I am trans and I'm transgender and I come from an African family. Now, I was born here in New York, so and like I've been raised here, and like the American life is really all that I know, and I can't even speak the languages of my mom's side and my dad's side. Now, my dad is from Ghana and my mom is from Nigeria, and like I can't speak their languages. So, and like I've only been to Africa once, and that was Nigeria. And like it's like the African life isn't entirely new to me, since like I can understand what my mom is saying, because like I've been raised by my mom. I only live with my mom. My dad's not really in my life like that. So like I can understand the language a little bit, and I can like I participate in the culture and I eat the food, but I'm not really like I did not grow up in Nigeria. I did not grow up in Ghana. I did not grow up in West Africa. I was born here in New York, in America, in the United States. So like this is what I'm used to. I'm used to like the American culture a lot, and only used to like the African culture not as much as I am with the American culture. So like I didn't talk about being LGBT LGBTQ, part of the LGBTQ community, and coming from an African family. Now, thankfully for me, it's not as bad as like how like homophobic Africa is, excluding South Africa. I'm talking about like West Africa and Eastern Africa and just places like that that are just really homophobic. Even though like I think it was Uganda that had their like first LGBTQ pride walk, I think. I forgot, but it's pretty recent, this past summer. And so like I guess things are changing in a way, but it's still like a long, long way, especially with all these anti-gay bills being passed. And they're not even really on the topic of transgender there. They're still on the how can somebody be attracted to the same sex, which is it's very simple to understand in my opinion. Like I want to move on to like being the transgender rights, and even in America, we're not fully on the transgender rights because everything is so focused on gay marriage and gay rights and gay adoption and all of that. And we're getting, as trans people, we're getting very little of that attention, and that really needs to change. So, thankfully, it hasn't been as bad. My parents being both African and having a transgendered child, and obviously like I'm supportive of the gay community, so like I talk about it sometimes, not as much, like I'm not like always talking about it, but it's very evident that I support gay rights and stuff. And like I'm trans myself, so I also talk about like trans issues, and like I'm a trans person, so having a transgendered child and being for them being African is very new. Surprisingly, like my mom did say really hurtful things, but my dad really, I don't even know if my dad is all that religious, since religion is a big part of African culture, and like Africans are very, very, very religious. And my dad thinks that it's a phase. He wants me to wait till like after college. Now my dad is really educated. He has two masters and a PhD, and he's also a college professor. I don't know if he's religious or not from like our talks when we talk on the phone, and when he used to come over to hang out with me when I was younger. Like I don't know if he's religious. He's never like mentioned God or anything. So like the religion talk has never been in our conversations between my dad and I. He thinks that he thinks that maybe it's a phase. I should wait until I graduate from college and I'm an adult. That way I can make that decision. Now, of course, like if I know now, why would I waste all of that time? Why would I waste like another 8 to 10 years knowing that this is the way that I feel and just being miserable? Now, my mom is the closest person to being supportive. Um, she's religious. I mean, we stopped going to church on Sundays because like we're busy and I don't even want to go. My mom's back in school, and like we haven't been going to church, and obviously like I'm not religious anymore. I don't affiliate with any religion. It's not something that I need, but that's like a whole different video and a whole different not a whole different topic, but just like a whole different video on like my personal views on religion. So my mom did say really hurtful things. She did tell me like things like, "Oh, no straight girl would ever want to date you," or if they would, it's a phase, and only gay people date trans people, which is very weird because like even gay people don't want to date gay trans people, and trans people like myself who identify as straight, like I wouldn't date a guy because I'm a guy and I'm not gay, and I wouldn't date a lesbian because lesbians are attracted to women and female identified people. I don't identify as female, and I am not female. Even though I was born one doesn't make me one. And she would also say things like very insensitive things. She still calls me she. I mean, now like it gets annoying, but I'm kind of used to it. I mean, she pays for my hormones. She's going to be paying for my top surgery. Hopefully, if there's money to go towards that. And she also, I don't even know, like, why right now I can't really remember things. But, like, this past night, like, I could barely sleep. I only slept for, like, 4 or 5 hours because I could barely sleep at night. And like she said some pretty like hurtful, ignorant, and insensitive things. Oh yeah, she would whenever like my first girlfriend I had when I was 13, instead of saying that's my girlfriend, she would be like call my girlfriend my partner, and then the last girl that I dated, she would say, "Oh, is that your new lover?" And lover means that implies that we are having sex, and we did not have sex. I'm still a virgin, and just things like that. And it's like she is my girlfriend. You know, gay guys call whoever they're dating their boyfriends for the most part. Lesbians call whoever they're dating their girlfriends. But I have seen like some people be like, "Oh, that's my partner," and you know, we're together and blah blah blah. But for the most part, like I see people say, "That's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend." So I mean, she said some pretty insensitive things, but she is coming a long way, and I do give her props for that. Like, to be African and to be as open-minded enough to like be able to accept me enough, and like she's still getting used to it. We're gonna be going to family therapy as well if I still feel like I should. And my mom's family, um, unsupportive about it. Don't understand it. They ask me like inappropriate questions. My aunt in particular would ask me things about like my body, and she would call me a transgender. And she did not want me to go on hormones or have surgery, but I'm already on hormones and I'm going to have surgery regardless. Um, for people in my family are like very educated, like doctors and nurses, and two of my uncles are lawyers, and my aunt works for the United Nations. So like they're very educated people, but when it comes to things like this, they're not, because this is new to them. Now, anyway, like getting back to the point, like I'm gonna be making more videos. I guess this was kind of like an intro of me talking about being from an African family and being trans. So pretty much what I want to get to is something I want to start is more of like gay, bisexual, lesbian, transgender African teenagers. Like if you are African American but your parents are African like me, like I'm African American because I was born in America. I was born in New York, and that makes me African American, but my parents are both African. So like um, if one of your parents is African, both of your parents are African, or you were born in Africa and you came here, like, please send me a message because I am feeling like I am the only person who is African and part of the LGBT community. So That's basically the point I want to make. And if we can make a channel, like a YouTube channel, like African LGBT African teenagers, something like that, that would be really cool. Cause like it's almost 2013. Things are changing. Hopefully, people are getting more educated about things. People are being more open minded and liberal about certain things, and LGBT rights are is part of it. And then I also want to like talk about making the transgender community widely known. Like we need attention as well. So if you are African and part of the LGBT community and you are a teenager, please send me a message so that we can talk and I don't feel like I am the only person who is African, teenager, and transgender. And this is also open to like gay Africans as well. If you're gay, bisexual, or lesbian and African, please send me a message. So yeah, like I'm gonna be talking about it more. I'm gonna be making more videos about it. So thank you for watching and please subscribe.